Okay guys, I'm back, and that means we're going to actually start off a new series, which is building viewer loadouts based on like their theme requests, their budget, and all of that goodness. I'm going to jump right into it, but just to answer any questions, yes, you guys will be able to do it. We're going to aim for one and maybe two of these videos per month. There will be a priority towards YouTube members, and then once every YouTube member has been featured in a video, we will open up to the public in Discord, and then you guys can have a chance of having an inventory rebuild. I do want your guys' feedback on this. Do you like this idea? Do you want to see more of it? And yeah, just in general, what the thoughts are and any way I can improve it. We're going to kick it off today with TwindaddyCS, who has been a YouTube member for like 6 months. I got to meet him at IEM Cologne, which was sick. And he has a pretty good loadout already. And this is his overview of what he asked for. Essentially, we're going to take his current loadout value, add about $500 to it, and see what we can do. He currently has one pair of gloves and 2 knives, and we want to see if we can just go for a better knife upgrade. And then also, there's no theme, we just want to cook. We'll run through his loadout overview just so you can see his main skins right now. So the base of his loadout is around these nice field-tested snow leopards. These are 0.291 float. Overall, they look pretty good, and this is the first knife that he has. So he actually has a butterfly knife, which is the scorched in minimal wear. And I do like what he's done here with the 2 knives, because he's gone for the 2 colors of the snow leopards and paired them in. His second knife is a stiletto, so he knows what he's doing. However, it is a well-worn urban mastiff. If I remember correctly, I think he actually unboxed this one. I'm not 100% sure, but this is in here. He actually has quite a few print stream skins, which we'll see. But first up, we have a field-tested M4A1S. Quite low float with a nice sticker craft on it. They're worth about $110 for the stickers. He also has a field-tested Emerald Glock, which is incredible. Float-wise, it's 0.15. So it does get a few scuffs here and there, but he saves like a solid $200 for going for this float. And one thing we will work on addressing is that he has a mix of some StatTrak skins, some not StatTrak. One that is StatTrak is this field-tested print stream Deagle. Craft-wise, pretty nice sticker placement on the back. On the USB, he's gone for print stream. Honestly, across the board, this makes sense. We'll see when I go through for the suggestions. Some of these remain. A low float field tested 0.19 here. AK-wise, he has a StatTrak headshot. Honestly, I would just keep this in the loadout, but I am going to suggest some changes. I like the craft on it. Overall, I think the headshot's pretty good. And then the final core skin to showcase is his Op Wildfire, which is 0.15 super low float field test, and that's kind of the basis of what he's had to work with. Now, to provide a brief overview just with the extension on here, you can see some of the other skins that he has, like USP Jawbreaker Factory New. He does have a Dragon King. He's got an Emperor Nightmare in there, so there's a real mix of stuff. He's already got a nice Get Ill skin, but I'm going to focus on trying to change quite a lot of that, and he does also have 2 agents. He's got Blooper, his Buckshot, and he's got Resident the Ready. I'm not going to suggest changes for these just because the pricing is still a bit buggered, and you know, I don't want to go down that path. So, change-wise, what am I suggesting? Keep in mind, total cost-wise here, our total budget is around that $2,600 mark, and we will be hopefully trying to reuse some of the skins he already has. So, one of the big things for me is actually keeping the same gloves. We're going to run with these same snow leopards and going with the value to have in the market as of 5th of October here, $440. Now, I want these to stay because they look clean. I think they work really nice for a neutral loadout, which he doesn't want any theme, which is really nice. And then the knife change is where I'm going to come, and I'm going to say Stiletto Phase 4 Doppler is my suggestion here. At the time of planning, it was about $850. For me, Stiletto is an absolute S-tier knife. I think it's fantastic. I love the animations. Also, I think just with snow leopards, it can look really nice. And then obviously Phase 4 with the right parent, it's looking like a fake Sapphire. It is $850, but when we're going from 2 knives already, one's already a stiletto, one's a butterfly. So I think those animations, that vibe is key for him. But I think just getting a finish that really stands out strong on the snow leopards is worth doing. Now, one of the upgrades you can take with a pinch of salt is I think jumping to minimal wear for the print streams makes sense because they're not crazy priced, at least the USP and the Desert Eagle. So I think spending $55 to get a print stream here is just in minimal wear anyway. Just make that jump, even though it's low float field test, just go to minimal wear and make sure you have that nice base value for moving forward. And then obviously last week we did get some new skins, and I'm going to suggest a couple of them. I think the Alpine Camo is one that actually works pretty well with the snow leopards. And one thing to note that I haven't seen many people talk about, and I'll try and zoom in if I remember, it actually has case hardened effects on it. So what I need to check and see is, does this case hardened effect change depending on the pattern? Because obviously the more blue it goes, the better it is to then pair in with the skin. But if you wanted something that's a bit different to the print stream, because I think print stream is such a go-to skin, I do think, Twindaddy, that like an Alpine camo, once the price settles a little bit, or if you happen to unbox one, could be a good shout. I'm not sure if he's a P2000 enjoyer or not, but I'm just going to say a Panther camo, a souvenir one ideally, 5 to new will cost you like 12 cents, so even if you don't use it, I've not put too much of the budget towards it. Now, I love the Glock Emerald. I wanted to suggest going to factory new, but that's when I realized that, honestly, he's probably saved $200 or so, depending on how much overpay you put in for the .15. So jumping to factory new just doesn't make sense here. The cost just goes through the roof. So if you can deal with the scuffs, I think just rocking this field test and being a baller makes sense. Now, the suggestion for the Desert Eagle is that you go from stat track field tested to non-stat track minimal wear. Now, what I did notice is I think you had a stat track Nightmare, you had a stat track AK, and you had a stat track Deagle. So maybe the 3 main skins you want to stat track, but I like the consistency of just having none of them stat track here. Obviously frees up some budget, and this would be about $50 to do this. However, much like the USP, if you're sort of vibing with these new skins, there's a couple of options, and it's not going to be that dreadful heat tested Deagle. First up, I think you could consider the Tilted. This one's likely to cost a lot less. I think the blue, that light blue, maybe is a bit of a clash with the gloves, contrast-wise, but overall, I think for the price this would be, the new model, the fact there's actually kind of a cool artwork, I think it works pretty well. And then if you're willing for something that just stands out, I think a minimal wear Starcade should be considered. I put pricing for a lot of these as to be confirmed because they've just come onto the market today, and the pricing is all over the place. So I would suggest like let's settle for a week or two and see what it comes to. But if you want to go for that white and black theme, obviously stay with the print stream, but go from stat track field test to minimal wear, non-stat track. If you want something that stands out, I think Snow Leopards and the Starcade works wonderfully together. Now, for the AK, I actually have 3 suggestions, one of which is the one that Twindaddy himself also mentioned, was that with upgrading the loadout, maybe he should go for something better than the headshot, and he suggested maybe going for a Bloodsport, which I do have to say, I think works pretty good with the Snow Leopards. Obviously, it's got some white markings on it, or a decent amount of white on it, so it really blends in color-wise for that. And also then, you know, what would be the alternatives you want to consider? Because I know you said Bloodsport yourself, so I just want to give you guys like 2 options that might fall into price range. The first is the Bee Monster, or Monster the Bee, whatever its name is. I can't remember exactly right now. The new Overpass AK. Obviously, it's the red from a collection. We need to see what supply and price ends up being. But I think overall, with Snow Leopards, this looks really good because there's so many gold accents and so many mixed colors. It plays in really nicely together. As I say, though, no idea right now on price-wise, but maybe just one to keep in mind that I think overall looks pretty good. And then going from brand new AK to an old school AK, I think fuel injector field test it could be considered here as well. There's just something, obviously, I think contrast-wise, you're still getting that black and silver that plays in really well with the Snow Leopard's pattern. And then the orange-yellow, whatever you want to argue it is, stands out really nicely with the gloves. Now, because of the craft on it, and because it's low float, and because of how well print stream pairs with Snow Leopards, I'm going to suggest you keep your Emperor A1S skin. Obviously, you've got that Emperor A1S Nightmare in there if you do ever need a little bit of a mix-up. But one just to keep your mind on is what price this bad boy is going to land at. Now, I'm expecting a good few $100s, but we're already seeing reports that the armory is going to be there for forever. We don't know how long this stuff's going to be available to sit in on box, so what is price going to be? Supply already seems quite good. For me, this skin is beautiful. I think it's fantastic. I think even down in the field test, it looks pretty good. I budgeted $200, which was the sort of rough estimation of what you get third market for your M4 on print stream. I don't know if this is going to come into $200, but if you wanted something different, I gotta say, I think this looks unreal with the gloves. Now, no doubt about it, I think your M4A4 choice should be the new Polysub. I think just, again, the white gloves and then a skin like this, you've got pearlescent effect on the gems, you got this really nice purple shading on it. It just comes together really nicely. Plus, it's that new model, the M4A4. Again, price to be confirmed because I just don't know what it's really going to settle at. That's going to be on the community. Let's see. One that I do know is Containment Breach. I think $122 here for minimal wear Containment Breach. When you're in this sort of budget, if you do like to op, you like to pick it up, I think just going for... How much is that actually worth? I don't know. My PC decided to try and crash in the middle. But yes, basically, S-tier op skin. If you fancy opping, I think going for Containment Breach just makes sense. Now, one that I actually unboxed myself, the Arctic Tritone. Now, I unboxed this, I was like, oh, it's only a purple. But in the grand scheme, I think actually it's a pretty good unboxing. I think it does work well with the snow leopards. Maybe it's quite a lot of white, maybe it's quite bright. I think definitely with the vertical background, it's a bit of a flashbang in the face, but I think at this price settles down quite nicely compared to maybe using like a Starlight Protector. I think this could be a good pickup. Mac 10, I think we just go all out on a fade. I can't remember if you have a fade already for the Mac 10, not on the top of my mind, but Mac 10 fade for me, $33 factory new. I think just committing to that, like lots of bright colors, the contrast in the gloves is a wise move. For the P250, I think we take a little bit of a dive through maybe like what's on CS2, even like a skin port or gamer pay, stuff like that. Just seeing like what can you get minimum wear potentially with an old sticker, but flat pricing, minimum wear, $35, but this is a super old skin, so you can find these with like paper cattle 14s, maybe 2015 through 2017 stickers for not crazy overpay. I think it could end up becoming a very nice showcase skin with the gloves. Now, the jewelries that I desperately want myself are the new Hydro Strikes. I think these are unbelievably nice. Artwork-wise, they're great. It's still got the water droplets on it. These are just, like, fantastic water pistols. Just the vibe is there. Whatever price you settle at, I think you get them. For the 5.7, I just think you keep your own skin. I'm not even put a price on it because it's field tested. You own it already. It's the 5.7 hybrid. It's not going to break the bank either way here. Now, while Twin Daddy has a nice Gale Chromatic Aberration already, I think you should consider going for the Rainbow Spoon once we see what the price settles at, because my only downside for this is that they kept like these really raw black bits off the skin. Not as ideal, however, the main thing is it looks color-wise very nice and stands out really well with gloves. For two more easy picks, on the Famas, we got a Mecha Industries. It's going to run you $4.45 for minimum wear. Ticks the box. And then the Mag 7, we've got the Justice. You can see here, it's a god. You're weighing up the scales of the good and the bad, I guess. And it's like $4 minimum wear, and the artwork just is incredible, and it stands out. My final suggestion of a new skin is going to be the Monster Milt, because I just think artwork-wise, this is very funky. It also has a different artwork on the other side of the weapon, which is nice. I know it's not the play side, so you don't see it that often, but I think it's just kind of cool to see. Now, this might be where you can save $10, mate, because I don't know how much use the CZ had, but if you want to go all out, I think the Jango just looks fantastic. Like the pink, the purple, the gold, incredible skin. Just from my side, I want to say I love this new ZZ that we got, the Slalom. I don't know what price it's at, what it's going to settle at, but artwork-wise, contrasted colors, design style, big fan. Throw this on a rifle for me, please. Titan 9, we're going to go for the fuel injector. So obviously, if you did go for the fuel injector AK, you got a nice little T-side pairing there. One that we're going to keep the same is his MP7 fade, because this is 94% fade percentage. It's factory new. It would normally cost $5. I've budgeted for it just because we know we're not selling it to then rebuy. But yeah, I think this one just makes sense to keep in the grand scheme. If you need a UMP that's going to fit nicely with the gloves, I think the gold bismuth is a good choice here. It's $4.40 for the minimal wear, and maybe a bit pricey for a UMP, but we are talking $2,600 budget, so I don't think it's too bad to just get one of the best skins for it. For the AUG, we're just going to keep the Death by Puppy. It's $9.20. It's factory new. Again, it's one of those skins that will just stand out with the gloves, and I don't think you'll be buying this much in game either way, so under $10, factory new, clean, vibrant skin that does the job. I love it. In that same conversation, I don't know how much you use the SG, so I've just gone super cheap here. I think an aerial for 15 cents in minimal wear works well with gloves. It gets you a skin that is pretty good, actually, for the price you're paying, and we don't have to break the bank. A full hazard would be cool. It's like $30, $40, or maybe more, $50 in field test, a souvenir, maybe. You can see the one Twin Daddy has a craft on it, so I've just ran with keeping this the same. It's one of my favourite scout skins in the game. Why complicate things? Another one that I don't know how much you use, MP5, will go nice and cheap, just over $50 for a Kitbash. I think overall looks pretty good. There's a decent element of white, there's some standout colours, it works well. And then finally, the P90 is actually one I think it was Gochu mentioned in Discord when I was planning my loadout. He's like, Desert Warfare minimal wear, old skin that actually looks pretty badass with the Scorpion, the actual design of like the texture of the skin is pretty damn good. It's about $3, and that completes then the rebuild of Twin Daddy's Loadout. Now, total cost-wise for this, the skins cost that I have, so this excludes any of the to-be-confirmed new skins, $2,188.83. What I have then done is left between $300 to $400 buffer. Keep in mind, just for context, his value of his loadout on the third-party extension, which is Steam price, was $2,600. remove 20 to 25% of that to get an idea of what it would sell for third party between $2,000 and $2,100. He's at $500, so we've got a $2,600 budget. Essentially, it leaves us a full $400 left over that then can be spent on these new skins that I have labeled as to be confirmed, which are the XM Monster Mill, it is the Gale Rainbow Spoon, the Julius Hydro Strike, the Arctic Tritone, and the M4A4 Polysoup. Honestly, in my opinion, I think all of those should be coming in combined cost very easily under 150. That's my opinion anyway. Maybe that Gale will prove me wrong. And then that also leaves in a couple $100 if you want to get one of those new deagles, that new USP, stuff like that. But this is a much longer video compared to usual, guys. But I think it's good to spend time when we're doing these viewer loadouts, just so I can do as much insight as possible for you guys and see where the changes are coming from. Now, the knife change is going to be personal preference. I think going for something flashy makes sense. Maybe you want to stay with that black and white combo. We can discuss that in the Discord. But outside of that one, hopefully you liked it, Twin Daddy. Obviously, we're on Discord. We can discuss. Everyone else watching, please let me know your thoughts of this down below. Do you want to see this series continue? And how many times do you want to see it per month? Once? Twice? Just let me know down below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed it. Hit the subscribe button if you're new around here. And I'll catch you in the next video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.